Hello, this is Pastor Corey Sulian. Today's date is May 21st, 2023, and it's a Sunday. And I wanted to share with you what God did today. We had several visitors that came to church today, but we had one particular visitor, a couple, and the gentleman, he's 79 years of age. I had met him about 2 years ago in our chaplain ministries here in town at an auto dealership, and he was really not too keen on God and faith and religion and church and all that when I first met him. But God had been working on his heart over the process of 2 years. And about 2 months ago, word got to me that he wanted to talk with me and he had questions that he needed answered. And so this past Friday, we finally got hooked up. And he asked me some questions, and I got to answer them to his satisfaction, but he wasn't saved yet. And he said he wanted to come visit our church, and he said, I'm going to come on Wednesday night for your Bible study. And I said, great, love to see it. Well, him and his wife showed up today, and I had no idea they were coming today. But they sat in the pews, and they heard me preach. And during the invitation, I asked, how many of you would, you do not know for sure that heaven's your home, but you want to be sure, you'd like to be saved, would you raise your hand? And he raised his hand. And so I gave the gospel, I prayed with him, and he prayed and asked the Lord to save him. And it was so sweet, 79 years of age. He was so happy, and it's amazing what God has done in his heart over the 2 years that I've known him as a chaplain where he works. Well, that was a blessing today, a real blessing. But let me give you a tip of the day. And here's what it is. Before you lead someone to Christ, you have to first win them to yourself. If you do not win them over to yourself, they will not listen to you when you talk to them about Jesus. So here's what happened today. 2 years ago, I met this gentleman, and he said to himself, he said, what is this preacher doing here at this auto dealership? And he wasn't happy, wasn't receptive, just didn't want to talk to me at all. So for 2 years, I just simply tried to conduct myself in his presence whenever I did see him in a polite way, a good, wholesome way. And basically, I won him over to me to the point where he respected me and he was willing to listen to me about what I had to say. And then, of course, when the time came, I talked to him about the Lord, and then he ended up getting saved. Whenever you win someone to Christ, you must first win them to yourself. Now, when you're knocking on doors, obviously, it's the same thing. If you knock on a door, they come to the door, and the very first 15, 20, 30 seconds are so important. You have to convince them that you are someone worth listening to. And you've got to conduct yourself in that way. If you're not door knocking, if you're not meeting people, cold calling, if you call it, and you got someone that you meet and you know and you see them on a regular basis, like maybe someone you work with, maybe a family member, maybe a friend, maybe a neighbor, okay? These are people that you're going to have a continued relationship with. If you ever hope to win them to Christ, you've got to win them to yourself. And that's so important. Live a life in front of them that they would want to listen to you when it comes to how you share with them the gospel. So here's the thing. We've criticized lifestyle evangelism in our church. Or not our church, our churches, independent fundamental Baptist churches. Lifestyle evangelism, it's of the devil. Go soul winning, door to door, confrontational soul winning, you know. Well, here's the thing. Yes, you're supposed to go door to door. Yes, you're supposed to have confrontational soul winning. But here's the thing. There's some people in your world that you are going to have to live it in front of them before they'll listen to you. And that's not necessarily saying, lifestyle evangelism, I just live it, and then they'll come up to me and ask me, what must I do to be saved? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying live it in front of them so that when God is working on their heart, you can approach them and talk to them and do that confrontational soul winning. But because you've won them over to yourself, now they'll listen to you as you win them over to Christ. If you don't live in such a way in front of them that they respect you, you are never going to have an opportunity to share the gospel with them. And again, when you go door knocking, you've got about 15, 20, 30 seconds to make a first impression so that they will want to listen to you. You've got to win them over to yourself, and then you can win them over to Christ. So that's what happened today. I got this gentleman that I met 2 years ago, and he was not interested at all in talking to me about the Lord and about being saved. But over the process of 2 years, I was able to earn his respect. He admired me. And then when he had questions, I was the one that he wanted to talk to. And we did on Friday. And then he came to church and he got saved. What a blessing. So always remember, he that winneth souls is wise. It's not just you winning them to Christ and that's it. You've got to win them over to yourself so that you can win them over to Christ. If we don't live in such a way, and if we don't treat people in such a way that they respect us, they admire us, they appreciate us, they think we're good people, if we don't do that, man, they are not going to listen to us when it comes to sharing the gospel. So I hope this helped you. Please think about that. Live in such a way that people would respect you and want to listen to your gospel message about Jesus. And then when you go cold calling, right off the bat, the first time they answer the door, try to present yourself in such a way that they respect you, that they admire you, that they want to listen to you. Because if you present yourself in such a way that they have no interest in listening to what you have to say, you are not going to win them to Christ. So just a thought, tip of the day. Hope you had a great Sunday. Let's see someone saved this week. God bless you.